Some gifts are not blessings. Some bread is not meant to be eaten. In the glittering lights of Dakar, Abou found a fortune, but he almost lost his soul. Welcome back, my wisdom seekers, to Aunty Shine Shine Folktales. Today's story comes from the busy streets of our beautiful Senegal, where the shadows of the city hide secrets older than the stones. Before we begin this journey, please subscribe and like this video. Your support helps these stories travel further than the wind. Abou was a young man from a small, quiet village. He was hard-working, but his pockets were always as empty as a dry well. One morning, he packed his small bag and headed for Dakar, dreaming of high buildings and heavy pockets. In the heart of Plateau, he saw a car so shiny it looked like a mirror. The door opened, and out stepped Musa, Abou's childhood friend. But this was not the Musa who used to chase goats in the village. This Musa wore gold rings and silk that flowed like water. "Abou, my brother," Musa laughed. "Why are you still walking when you could be flying?" That night, Musa took Abou to a house with no windows. Inside, the air smelled of strange incense and old copper. A group of men sat in a circle, their faces hidden by red hoods. They were the Brotherhood of the night. The leader, a man with eyes as cold as a snake's, handed Abou a loaf of bread. It looked like ordinary tapalapa bread, but it felt heavy as a stone. "Take this back to your village," the leader hissed. "Give it to your mother. When she swallows the last bite, your poverty will die. Every crumb she eats will turn into $1,000 in your room." Abou's heart hammered against his ribs. He knew this was dark work. He knew this was an occultic debt. But the thought of the gold rings and the fast cars was louder than his conscience. He traveled back to the village in a daze. He found his mother sitting by the fire, her face wrinkled like a dried plum, but her eyes full of love. "Abou, my son, you are back," she cried. Abou handed her the bread. "Eat, mother. It is a special gift from Dakar." But his mother was a woman of prayer. She looked at the bread, and her spirit shivered. "Something is not right, my son. My stomach feels full already." She wrapped the bread in a cloth and placed it on the shelf, intending to give it to the birds in the morning. The clock in the hallway ticked. 10 p.m., 11 p.m. Abou sat in his room, waiting for the sound of his mother eating. He waited for the gold to appear, but the house was silent. Midnight struck. Suddenly, Abou's stomach twisted. It felt like he had swallowed a bag of nails. He fell to his knees, clutching his throat. He tried to call out, but no words came, only paper. He began to vomit, but it was not food. Crisp green dollar bills began to pour from his mouth. They filled his lap. They filled the floor. But with every bill that came out, Abou felt his life force fading. His skin turned grey. His eyes grew dim. He realized the truth. Because his mother did not eat the sacrifice, the debt was being paid with his life. He was vomiting his own soul in the form of currency. His mother rushed in, seeing the money and her dying son. She didn't touch the dollars. She grabbed the bread from the shelf and threw it into the cooking fire. As the bread turned to ash, the vomiting stopped. The money on the floor vanished like smoke. Abou lay gasping on the floor, alive but weak. Abou never went back to that house in Dakar. He stayed in the village, farming the land with his mother. He learned that wealth gained in the dark will always leave you blind. My dear seekers, the moral is clear. Beware of the bread of whispers. Any wealth that requires you to feed on your loved ones is not wealth, it is a cage. Thank you for listening to Aunty Shine Shine. Tell me in the comments, have you ever heard a story of the Dakar Brotherhood? I will see you in the next mystery. Keep your hands clean and your heart light. Goodbye.